What if the poor maid everyone laughed at was the one person destined to change their lives forever every day? The richest guests in the city's most luxurious hotel mocked and humiliated Leela because of her simple uniform. They thought she was nobody, but one rainy night she showed kindness to an old man everyone else ignored. What she didn't know was that this ordinary traveler was hiding a secret powerful enough to shock every billionaire in the room. When his true identity was revealed, the people who looked down on Leela were left speechless, and one arrogant millionaire was forced to beg for forgiveness, stay until the end to discover how one act of kindness transformed a poor maid into the most respected woman in the entire hotel empire. In the heart of the bustling city of Ashford stood the magnificent Sterling Grand Hotel, the most luxurious hotel in the country. Presidents, celebrities, business tycoons, and members of royal families stayed there whenever they visited the city. Its crystal chandeliers, marble floors, and five-star service made it famous around the world. Among the hundreds of employees was an 18-year-old maid named Leela. She lived in a tiny rented room on the outskirts of the city and earned just enough to survive. Leela had lost both of her parents in a tragic accident when she was only 6 years old. Since then, she had grown up in an orphanage, where she learned one lesson she would never forget. No matter how people treat you, never stop being kind. Every morning, Leela woke up before sunrise. She carefully ironed her simple maid's uniform, tied her hair neatly, and walked several miles to work because she couldn't afford public transportation every day. Although her life was difficult, she always greeted everyone with a smile. She polished the marble floors until they shined like mirrors. She arranged fresh flowers in every suite. She cleaned every room with great care. She even remembered the favorite drinks and meals of many returning guests. The hotel staff admired her dedication. One day, the elderly housekeeper often told her, "Your kindness will take you farther than money ever could." Leela simply smiled. "I just want people to feel welcome." One afternoon, the hotel became unusually busy. Luxury cars lined the entrance. Television reporters gathered outside. The famous billionaire businessman Victor Harrington had arrived with his wife, daughter, business partners, and several bodyguards. Victor owned one of the largest construction companies in the country. He was respected for his success, but feared for his arrogance. He believed wealthy people deserved respect, while ordinary workers existed only to serve them. As Victor entered the hotel lobby, Leela happened to be arranging fresh flowers near the reception desk. Without looking where he was going, Victor bumped into her cleaning cart. Several flowers fell onto the polished floor. Instead of apologizing, Victor frowned. "You should know better than to stand where important people are walking." Leela immediately apologized. "I'm very sorry, sir." Victor walked away without another word. His teenage daughter, Vanessa, laughed. "I don't know why they hire people like her." Several guests overheard the comment. Leela quietly picked up the flowers and continued working. Over the following days, Victor's family treated Leela terribly. Whenever she entered their suite to clean, they criticized everything she did. "The towels aren't folded properly. The room isn't clean enough. The flowers smell strange." No matter how perfectly she worked, they always found something to complain about. One afternoon, Vanessa intentionally spilled orange juice across the expensive carpet. Then she smiled. "Clean it." Leela calmly fetched cleaning supplies and removed every stain without complaining. Another guest watching nearby whispered, "I've never seen anyone so patient." The hotel's general manager noticed everything. He wanted to defend Leela, but Victor Harrington spent millions every year staying at Sterling Grand hotels. The manager feared losing one of the company's richest clients, so he remained silent. Leela understood. She never blamed him. One rainy evening, just as Leela finished cleaning the lobby, the automatic doors opened. An elderly man entered, carrying an old leather suitcase. His coat was soaked by the rain. His shoes were worn. Most employees assumed he couldn't afford to stay there. Some ignored him. Others barely looked up. one receptionist quietly suggested, directing him to a cheaper hotel nearby. Before anyone else could react, Leela walked over. "Good evening, sir." She offered him a clean towel. "You must be cold." The old man smiled. "Thank you." She helped carry his suitcase, prepared a cup of hot tea, found him a comfortable chair. Then she patiently waited until a room became available. The old man's eyes filled with appreciation. "You've treated me with more respect than many people wearing expensive suits." Leela smiled gently. "My parents taught me that kindness costs nothing." The old man looked at her thoughtfully. "What if I had nothing to offer you in return?" Leela answered without hesitation. "I wasn't expecting anything." That night the old man quietly checked into an ordinary room. Few people noticed him, but throughout the evening he carefully observed every employee. Some ignored struggling guests. Some smiled only when wealthy customers arrived. Others behaved differently depending on someone's appearance. Only Leela treated everyone exactly the same. The following morning, excitement filled the hotel. The annual Sterling Grand Investors Gala was about to begin. Business leaders from around the world gathered inside the magnificent ballroom. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead. A live orchestra played elegant music. Victor Harrington proudly sat at the front table, expecting to receive another Business Excellence Award. Leela continued working quietly in the background, making sure every guest was comfortable. She had no idea that her life was about to change forever. As the ceremony began, the master of ceremonies stepped onto the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the founder and majority owner of Sterling Grand Hotels." The ballroom doors slowly opened. Everyone stood. Victor smiled confidently. Then his smile disappeared. Walking onto the stage was the elderly man Leela had helped the previous evening. The room became completely silent. Some guests gasped. Others looked at each other in disbelief. The elderly traveler wasn't an ordinary guest. He was Samuel Sterling, the billionaire founder of the entire international hotel empire. Samuel walked confidently to the podium. He looked around the ballroom before speaking. "Yesterday, I entered this hotel dressed as an ordinary traveler." He paused. "I wanted to discover how people treat those they believe have no power." The audience remained silent. Many ignored me. Some judged me. A few wanted me sent away. Then Samuel smiled. "But one young woman treated me with dignity." He looked toward Leela. "Miss Leela, would you please join me on stage?" The entire ballroom turned toward her. Leela froze. She slowly walked forward, overwhelmed with emotion. Samuel smiled warmly. "This young woman didn't know who I was. She wasn't trying to impress a billionaire. She simply chose kindness." The audience erupted into applause. Samuel then turned toward Victor Harrington. "Mr. Harrington, I also observed how you treated this young woman." Victor lowered his head. For the first time in years, he felt ashamed. Samuel continued. "Success without humility is failure in disguise." The ballroom became silent once again. Then Samuel made an announcement that shocked everyone. "Beginning today, Leela will receive a full university scholarship paid by Sterling Grand Hotels. She will join our Executive Leadership Development Program. After graduation, she will become one of the youngest hotel executives our company has ever trained." The audience stood and applauded. Some employees wiped tears from their eyes. The hotel manager smiled proudly. Leela couldn't believe what she was hearing. "I don't deserve this," she whispered. Samuel smiled. "You earned it the moment you chose kindness without expecting a reward." Victor slowly stood from his chair. He walked toward Leela. The proud billionaire who had spent days humiliating her now stood with tears in his eyes. I'm sorry. I judged your uniform instead of your character. I forgot that true greatness comes from how we treat people. Leela smiled kindly. I forgive you. The audience applauded once again. Years passed. Leela worked harder than ever. She graduated with top honors. She completed leadership training. She managed hotels across the country. Eventually, she became the youngest regional director in Sterling Grand's history. Every employee under her leadership learned one important lesson. She greeted janitors with the same respect she gave billionaires. She remembered every worker's name. She never forgot where she came from. Above the entrance of every hotel, she managed hung a simple plaque. Kindness is the greatest luxury we can offer. Travelers from around the world admired not only the beauty of Sterling Grand hotels, but also the warmth with which every guest was treated. And whenever someone asked Director Leela the secret behind her success, she always smiled and said, "People may forget your position, your money, or your appearance, but they will never forget how you made them feel." Moral: never judge someone by their clothes, job, or social status. True greatness is revealed through kindness, humility, and the way we treat those who can offer us nothing in return.